Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Opening Bell Crypto. Happy Hump Day. Happy Wednesday. Good to be back with you. Nice sunshiny here. Let's get this, see how we're sounding over there on X. Happy Wednesday. Good to be back with you. Nice. Sounds okay. Sounds okay. Type a little GM for good morning in the chat here. Tone it down a little here. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, anyway, after the show yesterday, I did a little road trip. Got a buddy of mine who's building some $35 million houses down in this billionaire resort down in southern Utah. So I used to kind of help him out a little bit. So I told him he had to do a 1 day trip yesterday. So we ran around down to all the way to southern Utah, across the bottom part of the state. And it was pretty cool. Cool to just get away. I still had my Starlink, though I never hooked it up. I just checked in when we had signal, went through some little towns I've never been to or heard of, actually, even though I've lived here off and on since I was a little kid. But there's just a lot of, took some little side roads. There was two huge fires, 195,000, 95% contained. The other 90,000, 0% contained. Hey, Steph, coming at me from YouTube over on Belgium. Good morning, my friend. Scott, good morning. Great show this morning over there on the Heine Club or on X. Follow him if you're on X at Heinekin Scott, HINEYKINSCOTT. But yeah, so nice. I'll post some footage later. I actually went through a couple of towns I've never been through or never even heard of. Kind of as I cut across the state, went to Circleville, famous. I videoed where Butch Cassidy was born and raised, there. But anyway, these two massive fires kept me from being able to video some of the scenery. But I did video a little bit of scenery, Butch Cassidy's little house and stuff like that. Yeah, I see you too, Scott, over there on YouTube. Appreciate it. I have only I don't know, somewhere between 1 and 200 subscribers over on YouTube. So nice to see some my friends from X over there. Of course, a whole bunch of people on X. Yeah, I'll tell you, for me, it was therapeutic, right? Went down to this little sawmill too and picked up. He does a lot of he's a concrete company, right? So a lot of these big houses they build. That resort down there, I helped him build the second phase of it, and it's all concrete. The construction's all concrete. Really cool. Out in the middle of the rocks, sandstone. The Kardashians go there. It's like regular rooms, like 5,000-6,000 a night. It's crazy, crazy place. There's no even sign. There's just like a little road with a little box. You'd never even know it's there. It's crazy. But anyway, now they're building these private residences that are $35 million each, but they're beautiful. I'll have to post some pictures of some of the stuff we did before. But anyway, pretty cool place. But it was just cool. Went to this old sawmill because he does concrete. They call it board form. Anyway, it's an ancient way of doing concrete. A lot of rich people like to do their fireplaces and stuff. So we picked up some custom made, this old sawmill. Then we cut over. Anyway, it was cool just going through some places. I'll say one thing and then we'll jump into this. What was cool is there's some towns and stuff I'd never heard of, or, that's a weird name. And with Grok, I was able to just ask Grok about everything, the history, the stuff, ask about updates on the fires. It was really cool. So whole day, I literally could have driven to California. It took us so long. But there was also road construction and fires stopping us, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, it was cool. Cool just to get away after that horrible dip down to 4.6 million. Of course, TBB last I checked, I think we went all the way back today to 20 million a minute ago. Now we're at 18.2. So yeah, our Picasso chart turned into a chart from hell all the way down. Generational buy right there at 4.6 million and then back up. So, but anyway, we're working here, going sideways. Got some news, got a partnership with Cake Wallet. I believe Jason's going to be on Leslie Momoto's show. I don't know how to say her last name. I'll have to look it up. But anyway, great show. She used to work with David Gockstein, now doing her own thing. But yeah, let's look at how the futures and everything are looking here. little bit of news from the Middle East. Huge drop yesterday in oil. It's up a little today. There was, I'll show you. There's some reports, but like I say, I think you just keep an eye on oil price. That tells us more than anything, to be honest with you. Oil price right now, 75, 78, basically flat, positive 0.01. So I don't know. There was an attack of a Houthi boat drone or something. I'll show you from Goxie Media, but I don't know. Like I say, just watch the charts. But overall, NASDAQ, of course, we had SpaceX. They're saying it's sinking, but well, we'll see. I thought it was up. Yeah, there's SpaceX. Yeah, $1.10. So yeah, it did. I think it got up to $1.25 after they did good in earnings call yesterday after the bell. But they're spending so much on AI. We know that's scaring everybody, right? No, what happened? They're spending all their money on that. So anyway, yeah, same old same stuff we've been dealing with for a few days, but the NASDAQ up 2.23%. Market's been open for 8 minutes now. The Dow up 0.91 and the S&P up 0.55. STRC 9304, so getting close to that $1. They don't call it a peg. I think they call it par, where they can start buying stuff again. But of course, all their problems are over as Bitcoin gets up over 70,000. But anyway, yeah, so their short-term strategy of selling a little Bitcoin, putting some more cash, retiring a little bit of the bonds, and it seems to be working to some degree. Anyway, that's it. So decent day in the market. We're still playing catch up a little bit, but not a bad day either for got Aerodrome Finance up there. If you look at the bubbles, there's a couple of look, Pump up 13%, Zcash up, few things up, Hyper, Liquid, Tau, whatever, Uniswap, but Pump.Fun, man, they're doing some serious business right now. But let's look at what we care about. Bitcoin is the daily chart, flat for the daily chart. Just a minute ago, we were up to 64.5. Now we dropped just below. We'll see what happens. The market kind of levels out here. I was feeling good about we were up like 0.5%, but it's what I put in the title. But anyway, now we're down a little, just below 64. It'd be nice to get the 64 back. Now we're officially flat for the day, or 0.1. So Ethereum, Tom Lee talking a little Bitcoin FUD. I'll show you that clip. Ethereum 1864.74. Let's call it 1865. It's down 0.5 point for the day. XRP, who some on TikTok believes going to 10,000 a coin. I've even heard 50,000 a coin, but that 1,000 is programmed. I hope it is. If I thought that, I'd buy it because that would be 1,000x from here. But anyway, sitting here at $1.58, literally down 1.8%. So people aren't loving on XRP today. Solana 0.6, or excuse me, 73.54, down 0.6 today. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Sometimes when the market opens, it can balance out. But Bitcoin stuff definitely lagging, but we're definitely not crashing yet either. The usual suspects, the Fed, the Iran, and of course the Clarity Act. So let's look at some of these. I already told you TBB, we had that horrific gut-wrenching drop, and now it's come back. We're at this morning when I did my TikTok video, we're at 20 million, pulled back. Now we're at 17.7. Good volume, liking that. The baby version from our guy Digi, it's holding at 423. Now there's a tax on this, a 4% tax, 4% tax going out. So some people wouldn't like that, but it does. They do take 2% and airdrop the 2% of that gets airdropped in TBB if you hold it. But anyway, really cute. These guys' advantage is the cutest memes I've ever seen with this baby kid. Should be in a comic book, should have his own cartoon. Hey, Coachmaster GM, come in me. I could have driven to see you. I drove so far. Yes, not so far, but you're talking little backwoods roads, road construction, forest fires. I literally drove long enough, 10 hours, I could have driven to Goachmaster. So hung out. I'll be on the beach right now, sipping tea. Get me one of those walking, maybe out surfing with Life and Glory, but I couldn't hang with him. Maybe Mr. Heine could. Mr. Heine, GM, humpity hump day. Yep, feels good. I'll tell you, it was nice after that gut wrenching day on Monday. Yesterday to go out, I had my satellite Starlink. I never hooked it up. I did a meeting with CoinZoom from one of the towns. We were pulling a trailer and the plug came undone and broke we drug it for who knows how long, and we had to stop and get a new plug. Took about an hour to put on, which was perfect because I had a Zoom call with Todd and Ben Crossland from CoinZoom talking some stuff. So that worked perfect. And then when I was in signal enough to be able to handle my business without firing up the Starlink. But yeah, it was just fun to get out, forget about it for a day. I mean, I spend so much time on these charts, so much time grinding, just to have a day out there in the wilderness and some little towns that literally I'd never heard of, that had like one store. It's kind of cool, but people have no idea about Bitcoin or will ever know, it's good just to get out there and take a little road trip, man. It was a 1-day road trip, but it was cool. I'll post some footage later if I can. Those huge fires made it to where I couldn't film a lot because it was like you're in the fog. I mean, massive fires, right? 295,000 acre fires within a 50-mile. So I thought it was one fire, but when I'm talking to Grok, I realized it was two. One 95% contained, one 0% contained. Just going crazy up there. And plus, I could see there was a lot of flash flooding that happened too because of the fires and whatever. But yeah, crazy, man. Anyway, it was nuts. But I have a little bit of footage. But like I say, a lot of it was just like I was driving in the fog. But it was cool. It was cool. Did a whole round trip around, did a whole loop around both those fires and what we were doing, dropping some stuff off, picking some stuff up. But anyway, yeah, so Cash Cat kicking ass, taking names, up 29%, 91.6. Remember, it was kind of going sideways. We were kind of making fun of it. And there's the little crying cat doing pretty good. Had a little bounce. Ansem, the Black Bull, kind of started this whole supply control meta. 136,000. I wonder how much that main wallet controls. Let's see if we'll pull it up. 50% in that main wallet. Of course, Jason in his wallet still controls almost 69, almost 68%. It's worth 11.9 million. So anyway, and then that's that. And then let's jump into some of the news. So I want to end off here. So I have a little time in case my computer freezes, got in the way of my the GM Bitcoin show. Circle hit 701 million Q2 revenues, and USDC circulation top 73 billion. So they're going to become the regulated stable coin of choice. USDT already being kicked out of Europe and stuff because they do their own thing. Not that they're going away. They're massive, but also, they recently got their federal trust bank charter we talked about, and they're launching their chain. Their chain is, what's it going to be called? Or their ARC blockchain. So that'll be a chain for tokenizing assets, I guess, and whatnot. And it's the validators. I've got another article of that, but it's some big names. So shout out to them. If you want to play that, you can buy their stock. We've got SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce said the Senate will pass the Clarity Act. I don't know. We got 3 days left. It's not feeling like it, but I hope so. That would be a boon for us, for sure. Yeah, here it is. BlackRock, Visa, MasterCard, DTCC, and 7 other financial giants named founding validators for Circle's ARC blockchain, which will launch September 16th. Also, our guy Sikasa from the Jungle Bay is launching a token on Friday. I have to get more information on that. Because I was in and out of service, so I didn't hear a lot of the spaces yesterday. But so I think we'll find out about that today and tomorrow. Little financial news: ADP payroll came in at 44,000. So private jobs created 44,000 a month of July. Expectation of 70, and down massively from 98,000 in June. So bad news for the economy, but in a perverse way, it can be good news for the Fed if they're looking for a case to not raise rates or even lower rates, right? Because remember, they have a dual mandate. Inflation isn't as bad as projected, and now jobs aren't good. So food for thought there. BlackRock is bringing its, tokenized European money market funds on chain, and they're going to use JP Morgan's Connexus blockchain, which is a permissioned private blockchain, basically. So we're seeing a lot of the public chain versus the private chain. In the early days of the internet, we had intranets and internets. None of the internets really worked out, but we'll see. It could in this case. Because by this stuff kind of has to be permission. Okay, so here's Tom Lee. Now, I don't think he fudding Bitcoin using the quantum FUD. Now, I don't know that it was so much he went on there to try and FUD Bitcoin. He went on there to talk his book, which is Ethereum and blah, blah, blah. But they asked him because, of course, famously, and we've talked about it, Jim Cramer had the CEO of IBM on him, and he told him, thought 3 to 4 years before quantum threat was real. And so he's selling all his Bitcoin, even though the guy's not a quantum, not a quantum. He's done some quantum stuff. He's a technologist, very well respected, but he's not an expert on quantum. So the quantum experts would say differently. But anyway, so they asked him about it, and what he said was he thought he could face a threat within 2 years. I don't believe that. What he did say that was was true though is Ethereum, Solana, they already have a path forward for quantum resistance. Bitcoin has no consensus. That's true. Now, most the experts I say the quantum threat to Bitcoin is 10 years to never. But even if it's closer, and then he said Google believe encryption could be broken by 2028. I don't think that's really what they said. Remember that report that caused all the FUD? And I told you they regularly bring out this Bitcoin FUD. But, Tom Lee talking his bag, he basically said Google thinks this. So I don't know. I think he was talking out of both sides of his mouth here. Nothing he said was really a total lie or anything, but I don't think it really, but that's not his job. He's an Ethereum guy, right? He doesn't need, that's more the job of Michael Saylor, one of these guys that's more on the Bitcoin side. But I think it's overstated. I think we've looked into this heavily, but yeah, I don't think Ethereum and Solana and some of these other blockchains are maybe doing it. But there's also research going on and stuff. Yeah, I don't think it's a threat for Jim Cramer. Like I say, whatever Jim Cramer does, I'm doing opposite anyway. So, but anyway, that was on there. Like I said, I don't think he went on there to FUD, but he kind of did a little bit. But you could also say he was just talking his bag, which is Ethereum. So, hey, Welder, GMAA Ron. Yeah, it's funny. We had a D Nice, one of the guys that comes up in the his name on X is D Nice. So I said my real name's Aaron, which it isn't, but it's just, if you guys remember the great skit, man, one of the funniest skits of all time, where the substitute teacher, instead of saying Denise, he's like, is there a D Nice here? Aaron, Jay Quallen instead of Jacqueline. Anyway, then he gets pissed off and starts throwing stuff it's funnier than hell, man. You ought to watch that on YouTube. One of the best comedy skits of all time. Anyway, Strategy is going to, Trump's got these new kids investment plan for all their employees. Strategy is going to go ahead and match the $1,000 that the government's going to do, and they're going to this for their employees, and then they're going to put 250 eligible for all the eligible kids up to 18. By the way, Welder, I did a little road trip through southern Utah yesterday. Picked up some my buddies building some big houses down there, these $35 million private houses on a big billionaire resort. Went down there, went to a little sawmill, picked up some like old school like 1x6s that he uses. I've helped him do it, form up fireplaces and then put liquid concrete in there and then let it form. And it's like old school. It's how they used to do forms before we had plywood and concrete forms. So it's really cool, really expensive, crazy. Yeah, that's the Key and Pill skit. Yeah, that is so. Yeah, KEYPEELA student teacher skit. You type that in, you will laugh your ass off. But anyway, it was cool. We did a little drive down to southern Utah, across the bottom of the state and back up. And man, it was good to just get in these little towns. And I know Welders out there in North Dakota knows exactly what I'm talking about. These places with like literally some towns I've never heard of. I don't even remember the names. And I've lived here off and on, since I was a little kid. But there's just sometimes you cut across different areas and there's these little towns with literally like one store. 250 people. It's crazy. But good to get out there. And Welder's a big part of the TBB community, been hosting spaces and everyone's stepping up. We're running spaces all day. We'll talk about it, of course, on my GM Bitcoin Morning Show in a minute. This was from our guy, David Gokhshtein. He's got this media, which I really like. It's just Gokhshtein, at Gokhshtein. It's like a little news. They give you little news snippets. This said Brent crude price rose after Houthis attacked and sank a vessel off of Yemen with a sea drone. I haven't seen that, but that was just a little clip. But oil still seems to be holding steady. So, but anyway, give this guy a follow, and you get little clippets. You can follow, and he's a good guy. He's a big voice in the space. Huge following. He does the news type stuff. Very professional, and he's kind of hinted at a coin, the white bull, but hasn't fully committed to it. Got some different white bulls kind of vying for his attention. But anyway, our guy Hoff, regular contributor, also a big fan of the Bitcoin bull community, good friend of Jason Williams. I've met Hoff in real life. He and I and my wife, not this year, but last year's Bitcoin conference, he was out there because he does some Bitcoin mining. He's actually a Hoff 21 Milli is a big time money manager for big time rich clients, done it his whole life. So, and an entrepreneur, has a bunch of businesses. But anyway, he's a big fan. When smart people like this are big fans of something, you may want to pay attention. But anyway, he said the economy is not strong. Unemployment's going to get worse. He thinks the Fed's behind the 8 ball. But anyway, thanks from the Hoff, his insight there. And then last but not least, Jason Williams, there he is, outgoing parabolic. We partnered with Cake Wallet. They are a preferred non-custodial solution for buying, selling, holding TBB. Download Cake Wallet in the App Store, your seed phrase, create a unique password, and set up 2FA. I know that's the founder there, Vic Sharma, and his team from day one. Drop the contract out and get started. This is the first of many big partnerships we'll be announcing on the road to creating this important Bitcoin bull movement, not a paid shill. TBB. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to download. I've used the Cake Wallet before. I definitely have had it on my other phones. One of the great non-custodial wallets out there. So we'll be able to get on there. Now interacting program for TBB. You can hold your TBB on there. So that's cool. Let's take another look at the market, see how they're doing, and then we'll give me a couple minutes in case my computer ever freezes like it did the other day, trying to shut this down. But no, it's not bad for a hump day. Like humpity hump day, like Mr. Heine said. We're doing our thing, man. I feel like yesterday was a big reset for me, man. Just out there enjoying no people and little towns. And I think I told you went by where Butch Cassidy, a town called Circleville, where Butch Cassidy's from. If you remember Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, a famous bank robber, train robber. I don't know what his all story is, but anyway, yeah, look, we're still looking decent. NASDAQ up 0.35. Oil actually down a half a point, so that's good. Yeah, I'll take it down. Yeah, down 0.51. So I'll take that as good news. NASDAQ up, Dow up, NASDAQ up 0.38, Dow up 1.2, S&P up 0.6. Let's see if Bitcoin's following. It's the least it can do on a Wednesday. Yeah, I'll tell you, I love a road trip. When I was living like in Taiwan and stuff, the one thing I missed is just doing a road trip, man. It was just fun, even though it was down and back. I literally left right after the GM Bitcoin morning show and got back at 10 o'clock. So it was literally a 12-hour trip. We ate breakfast, ate dinner, did our thing, but we wasn't in a hurry at all. But Bitcoin, yeah, we're back over 60, looking good, 64,303. So I'll take that. Look, we're coming back. We'll call it a wrap. Feel free to join me over on the GM Bitcoin morning show. We'll be over there. We'll talk some more TBB. We'll talk some more general market. If this will let me end it again. It's the software. It's this Restream software I use tends to, I think, what frees up my computer. But anyway, have a great day.